The soil looks dead. Not dry, not weak, dead. Gray dust cracking under the sun like broken pottery. No worms, no movement, no smell of earth after rain. A farmer kneels beside it. He's holding nothing special. A jar of cloudy water, some kitchen scraps, a little brown sugar. 7 days later, the ground is black, soft, steaming in the morning light, worms pushing through the surface, tiny white threads spreading underneath like veins. It sounds made up, but farmers in Korea have used versions of this method for generations. And right now, it's spreading to small farms across Hawaii, Southeast Asia, and backyard gardens all over the world. While big agriculture spends billions on synthetic fertilizer, this farmer is using rice water and wild microbes. Total cost? Almost nothing. And the strangest part, you've probably poured the main ingredient down your sink your entire life. Korean natural farming was brought to wider attention by a researcher named Cho Han-kyu, often called Master Cho. His idea was simple but radical. Stop feeding the plant. Start feeding the life beneath it. Because healthy soil isn't just dirt, it's alive. Billions of bacteria, fungi, and microorganisms working together beneath your feet. An entire invisible ecosystem. Then, chemical agriculture arrived after the 1950s. Suddenly, farms were told they could replace all of that biology with bags and pellets. And at first, it worked. Fields exploded, but year after year the soil weakened. Farmers needed more fertilizer, then pesticides, then fungicides. The soil became dependent, like a body kept alive on stimulants, slowly losing the ability to heal itself. That dependency became one of the most profitable industries on Earth, which is exactly why a method that works this well, using kitchen waste and naturally occurring microbes, doesn't get much attention. It starts with rice water, not cooked rice, just the cloudy water left behind when you rinse rice before cooking. Most people throw it away without thinking. That cloudy liquid is full of starches and nutrients that microorganisms love. Pour it into a jar. Leave it in a shaded spot for a couple of days. That's it. The smell changes. Sour, slightly sweet, alive. Invisible organisms from the air around you start multiplying inside. Local bacteria, yeasts, native microbes already adapted to your climate. This is the key. Korean natural farming doesn't try to overpower nature. It recruits what's already there. The next step looks even stranger. Cook plain rice, press it into a small breathable container, and leave it somewhere with healthy soil. Under leaves, near old trees. A few days later, the rice is covered in white fuzzy growth. Most people would throw it away. But that's exactly what the farmer wants. Those white threads are beneficial microorganisms colonizing the rice naturally from the environment. Master Cho called them IMO, indigenous microorganisms. Think of them like tiny workers that rebuild soil from the inside out. Mix those microbes with brown sugar to stabilize and preserve them. This becomes the base of the whole system. Apply it to dead soil and something shifts. The microbes start decomposing organic matter, unlocking trapped nutrients, improving moisture retention, softening compacted ground. Within days, the smell changes. Healthy soil has a deep, earthy, almost sweet smell. Dead soil just smells like dust. The ground darkens. Earthworms return. Water that used to pool on the surface starts sinking in. the soil starts breathing again. And no, this isn't magic. A single teaspoon of healthy soil can contain billions of living organisms. Korean natural farming simply helps that civilization come back. But here's where most beginners go wrong. They use too much. They assume if a little works, more works better. So they dump concentrated ferment directly onto plants and things go wrong fast. Burns, bad smells, shock. These solutions need to be heavily diluted. A tiny amount spreads enormous microbial activity. Another mistake is using tap water. Chlorine kills microbes. That's literally why cities add it. Let water sit overnight first so the chlorine dissipates before you use it in any ferment. Temperature matters too. Direct heat and sunlight damage microbial activity. Keep ferments in shaded, ventilated spots. And if it ever smells like rot, not sour, not earthy, but genuinely disgusting, something went wrong. Healthy fermentation smells like sourdough or apple cider, not a trash can. Once you get it right, the process scales. What begins in a single jar on your kitchen counter can transform a garden, then a greenhouse, then acres. Input costs drop. Plants become more resilient. The farmer becomes less dependent on trucked-in synthetic products. That's the part that makes certain industries uncomfortable. Because the truth is, most damaged soil isn't truly dead. It's biologically starved, like a gut with no healthy bacteria left. Feed the microbial life and the whole system starts recovering. Sometimes shockingly fast. Asian farmers understood this centuries ago. Long before industrial agriculture existed, they learned to harness microbial life by watching forests, watching how nature restored itself without factories, without corporations, without instruction manuals. Then modern systems convinced people that fertility could only come from purchased inputs, as if life itself needed a subscription. Now millions of acres depend entirely on synthetic intervention just to stay productive. Every year the soil gets weaker without it, harder, less alive. Meanwhile, somewhere quiet, someone is pouring rice water into a jar, collecting wild microbes, fermenting weeds, feeding the invisible world under their feet. And the soil responds almost immediately. Not because the farmer invented something new, because nature remembers. People who try this for the first time often describe it emotionally. They say the garden woke up, birds return, earthworms appear after rain. The ground becomes soft enough to press your hand into. It feels less like controlling nature and more like making peace with it. Maybe that's what modern farming accidentally erased. Not just soil biology, but relationship. For most of human history, people worked with living systems they could see and smell and touch. Now, fertility arrives in plastic bags with warning labels. So next time you rinse rice before cooking, before you pour that cloudy water down the drain, you remember what it contains. You might be pouring living gold away.